This evening, we're very pleased to collaborate once again with our friends and colleagues at Transparency International Greece to host another public debate over the role and function and importance of whistleblowers in democratic societies, whence the title of our event, Stewards of Democracy. The Dukakis Center, as I've said, has celebrated 20 years of public service programming in Thessaloniki. Our role and our mandate is to seek to inspire young people to take an active interest in the kinds of issues that beset our communities, to take ownership of these issues, to empower them to find their own creative and innovative solutions to the sorts of problems that beset us today. That's the role of the Dukakis Center. We take our inspiration from Michael Dukakis, the former governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and we bring in experts from around the world to share both their experience and their knowledge and their example as professionals working on these sorts of issues. We have invited two guest speakers to address our audience in Thessaloniki. The first is James Wasserstrom, who is a UN whistleblower, having served as an anti-corruption specialist at the United Nations mission in Kosovo from 2002 to 2008. Our second speaker is a journalist with experience around the world, currently is the founder of a very innovative NGO working on alternative media and journalism efforts. This will be Nelson Graves, who's come to us from Paris this afternoon, and he'll speak a little bit about the role of the media in generating interest and spreading the information about whistleblowing and the efforts to combat corruption in our societies.
My name's Nelson Graves, and I'm the founder of a not-for-profit educational news service called News-Decoder, based in Paris, and we work with young people around the world to help them better understand the complexities and the nuances of big news stories, big international news stories. I'm delighted to be here this evening at the Dukakis Center's event on whistleblowing. It's an opportunity to learn from experts and from the audience what they think whistleblowing is. Whistleblowing is both a role and a responsibility. It's been shouldered by courageous individuals around the world, various acts and various industries, and yet, to a greater extent, whistleblowing is actually a public responsibility in the sense that we need to protect whistleblowers, we need to ensure that good governance and oversight is conducted over both public and private entities. And I'm looking forward this evening to learning more about the challenge of whistleblowing and its future. Thank you very much.
My name is Jim Wasserstrom. I am a living, breathing whistleblower, which is the beginning and the end of a very painful episode involving corruption at the highest levels of the UN in Kosovo and in New York, which I will talk about later. The main element of it was that I uncovered a $500 million bribe involving some of my colleagues, as well as the Kosovo Minister of Energy and Mining. And I got in the way of it and suffered horrendous consequences. That being said, the deal never went through, and I am delighted that I did what I did, despite all of the consequences for me and my family. And of course, now that Greece faces the imperative of introducing whistleblowing legislation, which will be a real challenge in an environment as corrupt as this one, I look forward to providing whatever support and advice to Transparency and other vital organizations that will play a lead role in ensuring that accountability is actually enforced in Greece.
Χαίρομαι πάρα πολύ διότι συνεργαζόμαστε για δεύτερη φορά με το Dukakis Center του ACT για να αναδείξουμε τον ρόλο των whistleblowers, αυτό που λέμε στα ελληνικά των μαρτύρων δημοσίου συμφέροντος, για την πάταξη της διαφθοράς. Whistleblowers είναι οι άνθρωποι οι οποίοι, χωρίς να είναι οι ίδιοι ποινικά εμπλεκόμενοι, βιώνουν στο περιβάλλον τους πράξεις διαφθοράς, παρατυπίες, ανήθικες συμπεριφορές και οι οποίοι επιλέγουν να βγουν και να καταγγείλουν, σώζοντας ζωές και περιουσίες. Πολλές φορές όμως χάνουν οι ίδιοι τη ζωή, την περιουσία, τη δουλειά και την οικογένειά τους. τόσο ο δημόσιος όσο και ο ιδιωτικός τομέας έχουν συμφέρον να προτρέπουν τους ανθρώπους αυτούς να καταγγείλουν. Ταυτόχρονα όμως έχουν και υποχρέωση να τους προστατεύουν με επαρκή και αποτελεσματικό τρόπο. Αυτό είναι την ανάγκη, την απαιτούμενη νομοθετική ρύθμιση και τον τρόπο εφαρμογής θα αναδείξουμε σήμερα.
If that bidder won, it was going to be a $500 million kickback to the officials who were involved in the scam. And as we heard, more and more, the officials involved were my boss, the American deputy governor, former retired U.S. Army general, and the Kosovo minister of mining and energy. Their facilitation would allow for a payment of $500 million, of which my boss was supposed to get $18 million. I stayed there. I wanted Kosovars to see that I wasn't afraid of being treated this way, that I had nothing to hide. But the drumbeat in the media became extremely intense, and my position became worse and worse. And so, after a few weeks of this, I decided I couldn't go. I couldn't stay because I was really in danger.